I'm back. What's up, guys? All right, I'm gonna try to not make this a 30-minute thing, so we're gonna jump right into it. This is gonna be more of an advice blog. I'm sorry it's not gonna be that funny, although I am funny. And the pictures behind me are funny, and we're gonna just get right into it. A lot of you have asked about. Okay, it's not gonna be that funny. That was pretty funny. Okay. I looked so serious. Back to the subject. This one's gonna be about what you guys have been asking me a lot about, which is bullying, college, high school, transitioning, being bi, being gay, being what else is there? Parent problems, anxiety and depression. So we're just gonna get right into it. As a lot of you know, I like to be able to relate to these issues because I like to understand what you guys are going through. So I'm going to talk about the things I can relate to with you guys and the things I can't, that I can try to. So a lot of you know already. Sorry if I talk with my hands a lot. I'm Italian, so for those of you who are Italian, you know what I mean. We talk a lot with our hands. But a lot of you know already I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and borderline personality. For those of you who don't know what borderline personality is, it means that my mind, and like me, I rely heavily on the relationships I have with people. Meaning I make decisions and prioritize those people before I myself make that decision. So I'm making a decision for that person rather than for myself. And I do that with everything in relationships. So a lot of you know my last boyfriend, Austin. We lived together for a year. And, we ended mostly because of this. I thought everything that he was doing was him leaving me or against me. So he would want to go golfing or hang out with a friend. And to me, it was the end of the world. It was like, you are leaving me and you care more about them and you know what I'm going through, or we made plans and you care more about them, which means it's a whole thing. So, it kind of ruined our relationship. I only thought about myself after a while in terms of, the attention I needed from him. Or things like I would leave parties, or I wouldn't go out because I don't want to leave that person, or I want that person to come with me. And if that person doesn't want to come with me, then I get mad that they don't want to come with me because that means they don't care about me. That's how my mind works, or worked. I am currently, as some of you know, or have seen my Snapchats, in therapy or focus group. So a lot of you are like, what, yeah, what is this therapy thing you're talking about? Yeah. I voluntarily enrolled myself into a program to learn more about borderline and to get dialectic behavioral therapy, which helps people with borderline and anxiety and depression. So I've actually improved myself. I've learned. I am completely different. I am in a new relationship in which I have just flourished. I am a totally different person in this relationship. Which I also feel terrible about. This little segment, too, I really, really hope my ex watches this because it's really vital and important for him to understand that none of this is what I wanted. I never asked to have any of this, any of the things that have happened to me in the last 2 years since I got diagnosed. No one does. Nobody wants depression. Nobody wants anxiety. Nobody plans for it. You don't wake up one day and you're like, hey, I think I'm going to have anxiety today, or I have anxiety today. Like, it comes and you know when it comes. When you're super down and just upset, like, you know you're depressed. You know you're having a depressing moment. When you're dry heaving, when you're panicking and you think that, nothing can help me. I need to, things like that. That doesn't just happen. There is something behind all of those things. And it's not just you. It can be other factors that come into your life that cause those things to happen. The biggest thing you have to know is that it's not your fault. It isn't. Our brain is very confusing and very complicated, and we are totally different creatures and totally have no control sometimes over certain things that happen in our bodies. And a lot of you need to understand that. So you having depression and you having anxiety, it does not mean it's a bad thing. A lot of people associate that as I should feel sorry for you, or they have depression and anxiety, stay clear, or I feel so bad because she has anxiety and depression. Like, no, that's not how, that's the stigma. That's not how it should be. In my opinion, I bravely stand up and I say I have anxiety, I have depression, and I have borderline personality. But guess what? Those things make me who I am today. Unfortunately, I had to go through these things. I still have to go through these things, but it's who I am today. And I am learning how to adjust to who I am and what these conditions do to me. Don't try to change it drastically by waking up one day and say, I'm a new person. Today is a new day. I'm not going to have any anxiety. I'm just going to be happy all the time. I'm not going to let depression be a factor. I don't have depression. I don't have anxiety. You don't get a choice. And you don't know when it's coming. So, my first ever panic attack, I was walking down the high school stairs. And literally all of a sudden it just happened. Something beforehand might have triggered it, but at the time I didn't know that it was triggering it. And that's when it started. That's when I had my first ever panic attack. I thought I was literally dying. I went to the health room. I had her send me home. I was like, this isn't normal. She's like, you are just having a panic attack. She had me sit down and she helped me breathe. She let me go home because she understood that I had just gone through something that I have never experienced. It's scary. If any of you have ever had anxiety attacks, excuse me, you know already that it's terrifying. You think, and you don't know, if you can control with what you're feeling. Another thing I am open about, cutting. I've previously cut in my life. I was cutting at the age when I was in 7th grade. End of the world to me. The feeling of I would rather feel physical pain over the emotional pain that I'm feeling. I know for a fact that a lot of you relate to this subject because I do get a lot of messages from you guys discussing feeling this worthlessness to the point of wanting to harm yourself. I've heard a lot of it from you guys, and I would love to address that topic, especially because it does correlate with the anxiety and depression. I get it. I really, really do. The most relatable thing is that what I just said. In the moment, there is nothing in your brain registering that what you're going through is going to be okay. There is so many different things shooting through your head that are just negative and depressing and telling you that things aren't going to go okay, that the world is literally ending, that you need to do something to feel something you're not feeling, you don't feel anything other than this overwhelming sadness and anguish in your heart that literally just feels like someone's stabbing you, you can't breathe, you can't do anything. So then the only thing you think of is, well, I can feel this. I can feel myself clenching myself. I can feel it. I can feel it taking away from what I'm feeling here. Just, the physical feeling of something. So that's where cutting kind of develops. And a lot of people put a bad stigma on people that cut. There are so many people out there that you will find will never understand why you did or do. They just won't. I've had a ton of friends who are like, hey, you open up to your friend and they're like, well, why don't you call someone or call me before you decide to do this or before you even have these thoughts? I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why a lot of this doesn't, your friends can say this to you and it won't help. Because in the moment, you're losing your consciousness. Your who you are kind of disappears. At least that's how my therapist explains it. I'm not just pulling this out of my fucking ass, guys. I've been educated on it. I know what I'm saying. It's the same thing as when you black out. Your conscious, your mind just slips through your body and you are just a physical being. Your brain is literally like, there's just like a robot. You're in default mode. The mode you would be, but without your conscious, but without who you are. So at the time, all you're thinking is, I need to get rid of this pain. I need to get rid of this pain. There's no thoughts about your friends. There's no thoughts about your family. It's literally just me feeling this right now so heavily that I can't think. I'm not me. I have many instances of this. So, back in 7th grade and 8th grade, I would cut a lot. I was depressed. I mean, I thought I was depressed. I mean, I might have been. At the time, the littlest things felt like the end of the world. Even in high school when I did cut. It wasn't a lot. I mean, in high school, I didn't cut a lot. I went a good 2 or 3 years without cutting. And that was a lot of distractions for me that kept me from it. But back in 7th and 8th grade, it was just little things like the drama that was happening with friends or an end of a relationship. It all felt like it was the end of the world, that it was the hardest moment I will ever have to go through, ever. And so then I would cut. No, I was never a cutting wrist person. You'll never see them. Or a thigh person or anything like that. You'll find out. I'll tell you later where I used to cut. Most of you don't really need to know nor care, but there's a good story behind it. But like I was saying, you literally just, it's the first thing you think of. The physical pain. That's it. And people think you're crazy. They're like, come on, like, that's not a thing. Like, we all go through stuff. Like, how can you feel this way, but I don't feel this way when something bad goes on? I thought I was crazy because my friend, let's use a name, my friend Angie, or something. My friend Angie never cut. When she would get depressed, she'd talk to me about it. She'd talk to, like, herself about it. Like, she didn't handle it the same way I did. And to me, that was so weird. I was like, how has she never had this urge? Like, her talking to me about coming to her when I want to cut, she's never had the urge. And I'm like, or the thought even. And to me, it's, how are you like that, but I'm not? When did these urges or when did the idea of cutting myself even come into my mind or process as a young person? It's just weird. You feel like you're not someone that, you should be. And it's frustrating because a lot of people don't understand it. If they don't go through it, they don't understand it. It's scary to people. Example, my boyfriend right now, when I first told him I had cut, and I went through all those things, I was terrified to tell him that because I know it scares a lot of people. It really does, guys. Like, a lot of people think that it's something that makes us crazy or something that we cannot control, they think it's something we can control. That's the better way of putting it. So they think it's almost like, how can she not be able to handle this? Like, how, this is like a joke, right? Like I don't feel this way. A lot of people feel like that, and you have to understand that. So your friends, don't take it to heart when your friends don't understand what you're going through, because they won't. It's that simple. They won't. There's just some people who won't. And then there's some people who are. And most of the people that do understand are going through it or have gone through it. I'm blessed enough to have a boyfriend who has never experienced that or gone through any of that, but was able to sit and listen to me and understand where I was coming from in terms of it. And what you guys really have to understand is that a big thing was the time period in which I did. When you're young, which a lot of you guys are, every day there's going to be something new that feels like it's just the world is attacking you. I promise you, and it sucks to say this, but the more you go on, the harder situations and things come up that you need to learn to overcome. Way harder than 7th grade. 7th grade, the end of the world for me was an end of a relationship. Cut. Freshman year of college. End of the world for me was finding out that my mom was diagnosed with cancer. Cut. 2 different things. If you would have told little 7th grade, 8th grade Georgie that the relationship that she cut herself over was one of many relationships she would be in and was 10 times less of a depressing, serious issue than freshman year Georgie. There is always going to be something along the way that just feels like it's worse and bigger because as we get older, there are bigger problems. You got bills to pay. You have real life relationships with people that you could possibly marry. You have kids. You have college. You're graduate. There's stress is everywhere when you're getting older because you're developing into a new person. You're starting your own life and an independent life where you 100% are independent. You don't get to go home to mom and dad and say, Mom, Dad, I'm feeling sad or depressed, or this happened at school to me today. No, you go home and you sit at your home and think about and brew all of these things in your own head because now you're your own individual person and you got to learn how to cope with it and how to be your own person. That's where I went wrong. Continues story. Trying to do this quick because I don't want this to be another half-hour thing, but I know it probably will be. Now I'm losing my thoughts. Yes, continuing story. So, I'm not going to continue story. I'm just going to leave it at that. Like, you guys need to understand where you are now. If you are just starting off with figuring out life or starting high school and you think that this is it. This is the end of the road. Nothing could get worse. You're wrong. Unfortunately, there are things that could be worse. A lot of you know, I got 2 OWIs in a month. That for me was the end of my fucking life. I was devastated. It seemed like the biggest thing that could have ever happened to me because I'm losing so much because of that one thing. And now, that's why I checked myself into this focus group, because this one event, that is a very serious event, actually is affecting the things I do on a daily basis, who I am on a daily basis. It's hard. It really is. And not because I like drinking and that's affecting my life. No, it's because of these legal issues that come with it. Not being able to drive. That might happen to me. Going to jail for 5 days. That might happen to me. There are worse things, guys. Trust me, I am living proof of it. And as time goes, things pass. Our feelings surpass. The best way that I have learned this is take a line. This is our line. This is our line of happiness. I don't like to say happiness. I say this is the line of being content. This is our content line. Say I win the lottery. Oh my God, I am so happy. This is the best. I am fucking awesome. Here's my line. I'm so, so happy. All right, I won the lottery. That is the greatest thing that could have ever happened to me. My dog died. I really am super upset. My dog died. I cannot believe it. Oh, but I got an A+ on my paper. I'm so excited. Tomorrow I have to go to a funeral. Like, what you don't understand is the greatest thing could happen to you. Oh my God, I won the lottery. But you're never going to remain up here. You're never going to remain at the lottery or A plus or nailed a new job level of happiness. You are always going to come back down to being content. And then it starts over, and then something could bring you down here. The littlest thing. Oh my God, my dog died. Like, yes, I won the lottery, but my dog died like a couple days ago. You know, like, this is depressing. I'm sad. It doesn't matter if I won the lottery. This is still sad. Comes back up. Got a new job. Yay, I'm happy again. So if you see what I'm saying, we are always going to have this line of content. What you have to understand is there's always going to be ups, and there's always, and you're never going to stay there. I promise you, you may never stay there, because there is no way in hell you can tell me that a human being is going to be 100% happy all the time through everything and anything in their life. Think about it. How? How is that possible? It's not. So that's why my tattoo, all of you have seen my tattoo, are lines on my back. And those mean content in the hieroglyphics. And that line right there is kind of what I value, because it shows me that no matter what, I'm always going to come back to this content level. I'm always going to be content. Sitting here right now, I'm content. I'm not happy, I'm not sad, I'm feeling okay, I'm living in the moment, I'm feeling good. If something happens to me in a couple hours that makes me really happy, then it's going to make me happy. But then a couple minutes later, I'm just going to come back down to my normal level. Or something really shitty happened, like, I'm super depressed, I'm upset, but in a couple hours, or in a couple minutes, something could make me happy. That brings me right back up to that content line and makes me realize everything's okay. So it's a really good thing to think about, guys. I love using that analogy. I use it for myself all the time. Don't try to find pure 100% happiness, because you will fail trying to find it, and you will be right where I am and realize that you are just always going to be content happy. And that's okay. It's 100% okay. If you disagree with me, then that's also okay. I mean, this is literally just my opinion, guys, and what I use to help me cope with the feelings I have. So, with all that being said, depression, anxiety, cutting, all of it, it's all connected. It really is. And if I could go more into detail about it, I would, but we don't really have much time for that. But it's good to know someone else's view on it, because you might take it and you might use that advice I just gave you. Like, I really hope you guys think about that line, because that line is very important. It helps you think and realize that you are okay, you are sane, things like that. Like when I was having a panic attack yesterday. I had a panic attack yesterday. Yes, guys, I still get panic attacks. I've had panic attacks since I was little. Like, they happen. An adult can have panic attacks. Shit, I'm in a therapy group, a focus group, with 4 people that are over 40 years old that are dealing with depression and anxiety. It does not go away. I'm not kidding you. Every single person in my focus group is over the age of 40, except one girl. And they are all depressed, and they all have anxiety. That's why they're there. So it doesn't just end. It doesn't just start. It's there. We all can have it. We all can go through it. You are not alone. I will always say that. You are not alone, because someone out there is and will be going through the same thing you are. Maybe not the same scenario, but the same feelings. We are all humans, so our brains kind of work the same way, but develop differently, if that makes sense. So it all correlates together, guys. And my best advice to you is to not let it affect your growth, because that is so vital. Growing as a person with a clear mindset is so, so, so vital. I think you all know what I mean when I say that. Like, you can have and you can carry those things with you your whole life, like I do, but you can still make it great. You can still learn to cope with it. Coping with it is going to be the biggest thing for you, because if it doesn't go away, like some people, their depression, anxiety goes away when something like their life has started and with a kid and a husband, and they are just off to a great, amazing start and never feel depressed again. Maybe that can happen, but most of the time, it sticks with you. Most of the time, you'll hear people go, oh, well, we all have depression and anxiety, so you need to stop being a baby and stop being an attention seeker, okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, bitch. Sorry, I like to talk about my depression and anxiety more than you do, which means I'm coping with it better. I'm recognizing that it's an issue, and I'm the one taking care of it. No one should ever be making fun of you or saying that you're an attention whore or an attention hoe because you openly talk about anxiety and depression. That's all I'm saying. Like, shit, I'm sitting right here right now telling you everything about who I am. Opening up and literally sharing who I am as a person, some things that you might not need to know. So that's maybe what you call attention seeking. If it is, I'm sorry. But I'm not, because I'm sitting here and I'm saying these things so that people can relate, because a lot of you can relate. Don't ever, ever, ever be scared or worried or feel judged for your own problems. You need to love yourself no matter what. And when I say that, that means you have to accept and love the problems that come with you. And I love the hell out of my anxiety, and I love the hell out of my depression, and I love the hell out of my borderline, because I can sit here and I can face it. I can sit here and tell you about it because I've been facing it and I've been dealing with it. So, call me an attention whore all you want. Judge me for being so open, but I feel great. I feel better, and I feel happy knowing that I can help other people by letting them relate to my experiences. No reason to apologize for that, ever. So, I really, really wish I could touch more on anything else like I was going to. I was going to talk about a lot of other things, but we're already at 30 minutes like I said I wasn't going to do, so I'm going to cut it off now. Next YouTube video, you guys decide what I should talk about, because I could talk about 800 things, but I need to narrow it down to one next time. So, please, please, please write or comment. I love you guys very much. I really hope this is helpful. If there's any questions or anything that you guys want me to expand more on, please direct message me or text me. You know, I got a separate number for you guys. Please, please, please use that line. I really love talking to you guys. Yes, please. Not sure what that was, but it was something. So, with that being said, guys, go Packers. They better win tonight. And yeah, don't forget to love yourself, and please don't ever be worried to talk or vent or love who you are, okay? Because no matter what, as long as you love who you are, nothing and nobody can make you feel like shit. Seriously. I'm cocky. I'm confident. I hate the word cocky. I use the word confident. Other people use the word cocky. I don't care, because I know who I am. I love who I am, which means I can take time out of my day right now to talk to you guys and make you guys realize that you should feel the same way. Okay? Alright, guys. I do love you. Please take my advice on this one. I really, really mean it. I don't just come on here to spill words of shit. Come on here to spill words of wisdom, alright?